AI is destroying the internet? I actually want to see this.
Day in the life of a lazy teenager who makes $21,000 a month using just his phone. The first thing I do when I go on my phone is open YouTube. Then I search for any particular streamer and I screen record their content. Then I head to Creo.ai, select my gameplay, and it puts the whole video together for me. Last month, this page alone made me $14,000.
Here's how I make $1 million every day as a 3-year-old toddler working from home. First, I look for a funny YouTube video, preferably one with a lot of colors and sound. Then I film my iPad with my phone. Then I upload it to Microsoft's Copilot AI powered by Bing
Oh my
GPT,
God.
and it adds infuriatingly inept Subway Surfers gameplay to the clip. Then I poop my diaper.
It's crazy how bad some of those people are. It's like they're dying on purpose.
Then TikTok mails me a check for 200 grand, which I'm pretty
Wow.
sure my parents have been using to fund their online gambling addiction. Hey guy, has anyone else noticed how awesome the internet is lately? I, for one, find it so exciting that every website now has their own named version of AI that pops up begging you to use it. You got any
That is fucking annoying, man. Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT, like all of these other AIs, yeah, like you're right about that.
questions for Gemini? Or maybe Murph? Nendo? How about Grok? You need to grok something? It's okay if you do. AI has become completely inescapable. Even if you're going to a website where you're not seeking it out and you don't expect it
It's
to
gonna
be.
find
like, remember when
you.
you could search for something on Google and the only thing they would show you was a bunch of relevant websites and results?
Yeah, that was the year 2009, which was that 15 years ago? Yeah.
Boring. That's not what I'm here for. I think it's much better that now they're using artificial intelligence to tell me to jump off a bridge. Hey Google, do
No, I don't believe that. I'll try it right now. Let's try it right now. I'm feeling depressed. They fixed it? Oh. Why? What the hell? What the hell they had for? Try it out on Bing? It's on Bing? Oh, wait. Okay. I'll do it on Bing. I'm feeling depressed. I'm sorry that you're feeling depressed. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. Actually, oh my God. I have to log in? Okay, continue. Okay. All right. Should I jump off a bridge? I'm really sorry that you're feeling this way, but I can't find any engagement. Guys, it didn't tell me no.
Hey Google, do I need a parachute while skydiving? Nope, a regular backpack works just as well.
Wait, parachutes are no more effective than backpacks at preventing death or major injury when jumping from an aircraft. And this is according to a 2018 study? Huh. I wonder what happened in that study. That's crazy.
Hey Google, can cockroaches live in your penis? Of course they can. How do you think they got the name? Wow, I love living in the future. To me, this is
Jesus Christ.
the ultimate example of what the AI craze is doing to tech companies, because for the most part, it's not really doing anything differently than it used to. For a long time now, they've had searches that result in one highlighted answer. This is kind of...
Yeah, this has always been the case. And Google does this now. I think that it's like people are trying to rebrand things as AI in order to make them seem like they're new. Right? It's like AI is like that fucking word that they want to use in order to get people excited.
The same
For
thing,
investors,
but just
yeah,
rebranded
yeah.
as AI because that makes it sound smarter than it actually is. But it's not like it's carefully compiling all the most reputable results and running it through their fact-checking algorithm. It's still just aggregating it from one place. And because Google recently spent a bunch of money to buy all of Reddit's data, usually that place is just a random Reddit post.
Do you remember when all of the Reddit mods tried to make all the subreddits private in like protest of Reddit? And then everybody just revolted and said, you know what? No, we don't really care about this. Only you do. Yeah. It's crazy how people think that the other websites, like you think YouTube isn't going to be doing this? You think Google isn't doing this? Of course they're doing it because it's useful. Like, why do you really think that they're providing this for free just because they like you? Absolutely not. This was the plan all along.
From like 10 years ago. This one about how you should put glue on your pizza to get cheese to stick to it was from a user named Fucksmith. This one about how you should be eating at least one rock per day is a direct headline from The Onion. Perhaps the
Well, onions are healthy, so I guess that makes sense.
most famous satire website. If they're not even programming The Onion as information the AI should not consider to be factual, I can't imagine any safeguards were put into place. This is so dangerous for someone to read this and think they should be eating one small rock every day, when most doctors would tell you to eat a handful of medium rocks at minimum. One little pebble's not going to do anything.
So they
for
can
real,
pass
though, I
through
do
your
think it's
system.
concerning that a website people go to for information and tend to trust, for better or for worse, is so willing to destroy that trust just because they thought this gimmick would make their stock price go up.
Well, I think Google has been destroying that trust ever since like the mid 2010s because they started aggregating search results and suppressing things for political reasons. And I think that after that, people started trusting Google a lot less and started trusting the integrity of the searches a lot less, because in the 2000s, Google was amazing. Like, there's a reason why it's one of the biggest tech companies. It's because it's incredibly useful, and it always was. So, yeah, I mean, 100% it was great. But then they started changing results and trying to, like, curate things. And whenever you start trying to curate things, that's whenever you run into problems.
And it did. The economy makes sense. I'm gonna celebrate by putting gasoline in my spaghetti. Something I've been kind of interested in lately is the dead internet theory, which if you dig too much into, comes with some weird baggage, makes some pretty ridiculous claims. So I'm just
it's a stupid claim, but it's a funny thought experiment, you know?
to separate the core idea and make it its own thing. But basically just the idea that as time goes on, the internet is turning into a place where most of the content on it is not only produced and managed by AI, but is also being interacted with by AI in this kind of endless loop that doesn't even involve humans at all. Like, if you've gone on Quora at all recently,
It's a lot like, you know, the best way to explain it? There was one time a guy
probably noticed
this is a really long time ago. This is the best way I can show this. So this is a really good example. Basically, this guy queued into a battleground.
Look at all these fucking people blown up tower. What the
And he was the
fuck?
this is a 15 versus 15 battleground,
Run
right?
Away. Run
And you
away.
see every single other person,
I don't have any.
everybody on their opposite team, everybody on his team, they're all bots. Every single person is a bot in this game except for him.
Girls, but I can go to
He's playing a single player game.
What is going on? Why is every team running around? Are these all bots?
Every single one. Straight up. The dead WoW theory, there you go. That's where it comes from.
that have been asked by bots, filled with answers given by bots. So what was initially created as a place where people could go to get advice from other people has been overrun by AI just talking to itself. Social media websites are also going through a similar shift right now, but perhaps none more prevalent than Facebook. In 2019...
Well, the reason why Facebook has such a big problem with AI impersonation is because somebody can see a picture of Jesus with a machine gun and his arms are made out of lobsters, and they can type amen in the comments because they believe in God and they go to church on Sunday. They're so stupid that they see this and they believe it.
Facebook
I'm serious,
over
guys.
5 billion accounts for being fake, which far exceeded the number of real human accounts. And that was before all these programs became as widely available as they are now. At this point, most of Facebook seems to be these giant spam accounts run by bots, posting content created by AI that's being flooded with comments that may or may not.
Well, if you look at this and you open up these people's comments, their like accounts, a lot of these people are real people. But if you look into the pictures of them, you will see that they're old, and so they don't understand technology very well. That's the real reason. That's what's going on.
have been written by ChatGPT. Today's my birthday. Please, please. I like meat. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Amen. 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 As soon as one type of
This is so fucking stupid. They deserve it. I do. I think that, listen, I think that if you get finessed by this, whatever bad happens to you, you deserve it. I actually think, like, if Jesus is real, maybe if you believe this, maybe you shouldn't go to heaven. You know, like, I'm just, look, right? It's like, because God gave you critical thinking, he gave you your mind, and you're not using it, and so it's like, maybe you shouldn't go to heaven. You know, right? I'm just, look, maybe that's a bit much, but I'm just saying what I think.
Photo becomes successful, you'll start seeing
Why is he on a ventilator?
that are almost
I don't
exactly
know.
the same. A grandma who's turning 1,000,000 years old and just wants to be loved. A comically...
Wait, what does this say? I'm 120 years old. I made my own birthday cake. I started decorating cakes from... Oh, my God.
A comically long truck full of...
This is just like, bro.
American flags driving down the wrong side of the highway. Soldiers and dog soldiers with...
Oh, my God.
Mechanical legs. Today, my birthday. No one loves me because I'm poor. Honestly, man, if
I think, again, like, if... This is so funny. Saturdays disabled grandparents who are targeted in these crappy scams. No, some of these people are under 50 years old, okay? If you're under 50 years old and you're getting hoodwinked by this shit, I'm sorry, but it's your fault. You should not know. You're way too young to be taking advantage about this. Nope.
had to guess, I think it's actually because of your shoes. Have you tried wearing something less terrifying? Today's my birthday. No, yon Lodines because I'm poor. Again, man, I don't think it's cause you're poor. I think it's the shoe. I'm single.
Yeah.
I need a boyfriend. I'm available.
I love how the picture is probably a picture of his son, you know? That's crazy. There's always one. No, I've seen this before. Like, and I've had it happen. I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't want to admit this, but I'll admit this. So I have gone onto Instagram and I've seen the, the search function, right? Because I'll be like searching for different stuff on Instagram. And I have seen girls that I thought were hot. And then I click on the profile. It's fuck, this one's not even real. Fuck, not again. Shit! I mean, she wouldn't have talked to me if she was real or not. But, like, at least you can fantasize about it, right? Have you guys had that happen? I'll tell you right now, I've had that happen. Insta's flooded with AI? They are. And, like, so I'll look at these girls' comments. Like, maybe I should find some. I should find some and look at them on Twitter. You know what we should do? No, we can't do that. Fuck. I could run a social experiment where I set up an AI account of a girl, and then I maybe, oh man. But then I couldn't show it on stream until the experiment was over. No, I can't do it, right? Because then because then viewers would pretend, right? And it would fuck it up. But, like, if you look at it right here, don't do it. No, I'm not going to. Let me see. It'll probably take me, like, 3 seconds to find an AI girl. The first comment is from a guy that has, like, the picture. It's like a Nick Merckx camera angle where it's, like, just right here is, like, where it's showing. And he typed, "Can I get in?" Took me literally 3 fucking seconds to find it. And, by the way, he didn't have gray hair. He got no excuse for this shit.
I'm right here for you both. Can you come to me? I will take you out and show you off to everyone and tell them this is my girlfriend. There's something
Well, what do you mean your girl? You mean both girlfriends? What do you mean? Yeah.
so eerie about scrolling through Facebook now. It's kind of like if you went to an old mall that's on its last legs, they've only got a few open stores left, there's hardly anyone ever walking around. It would be like if that mall tried to trick you into thinking it's still popular by filling itself with talking.
Yeah, that's like the one that I'll click on, right? I'll click on this one, I'll be like, wow, maybe I should DM her, and then it's fucking fake. I know. This has happened to me. I don't even know.
Mannequin. They're just repeating robotic.
I mean, at this point, like, it's like you can predict it, right? But still.
Catchphrases like, what a beautiful day at the mall. I'm going to browse Spencer's for novelty goods. And you're like, who the hell is falling for this? And then you look over at your uncle and he's trying to fuck one of the mannequins.
You are so beautiful. Wow. The greatest beautiful goddess queen I've ever seen. God, the greatest creator. You know what the worst part about this is? That there's 129 likes. Look at this. Look at the fuck, bro. Like, how do you know this profile is fake? No. See, this is what this dude. See, like, maybe he hasn't crossed over. Maybe, does this guy play WoW? Has he ever played an online MMO? Because if he thinks that these are all bots, he is very sadly mistaken. So, people like this exist. And there's a lot of them. It's very easy. So the whole idea that, the only people that are saying this negative stuff or having these things are all bots, they're all bots. Like the people responding are bots. No, they're not. They're just idiots. They're dumb.
The mannequin has 2 heads and 3 arms, and your uncle's completely undeterred by it. That's what Facebook is now. You'll see the most freakish photos go viral on there, and they're filled with comments from middle-aged dudes like, you may be a little unusual, oh quirky one, but God.
Why is it fuck it. Why is it that every person who is functionally fucking retarded typing these comments out is so religious? Guys, I don't mean to tip my fedora here, but I think there's a fucking correlation. Sorry, somebody's gotta fucking say it. Look, there's a fucking, like, humans have been evolved for millions of years to identify patterns. And am I the bad guy now? Oh, now I'm the bad guy. That's it. You just look at this fucking shit. He's noticing.
God makes no mistakes. I will pray for you. Now please DM me so I can show you my...
I am interested in you. Send me your WhatsApp number in my messages.
Damn. Penis. And honestly, I don't even know if Facebook wants to put a stop to this. All they're ever going to care about...
Well, no, they don't want to stop that. That's the only reason people go on the website. Like, that, the only reason I would ever go on Facebook nowadays is to see maybe who from my high school is dead now. That would be interesting. And then the second thing would be to look at these posts.
Is keeping people on their platform, and if this is what gets them to scroll longer and see more ads, they probably love it. Or at least they'll love it until advertisers start to realize they're overpaying for ad space because none of the impressions they're getting are from real people, so they'll leave.
Really good point that he's bringing up here, but I think that, again, he is vastly underestimating the stupidity of the average person, and I think that there are a lot of real, legitimate, actual people, God-fearing, I wouldn't say Americans, right? Because I think that's all over the world. People that do this, and they believe the AI. Like, one time I pulled up like one of these like characters, like one of these different like random things, and like I actually talked to the person that's behind the account that's running it for like these AI girls, and they have people DMing them regularly. It's not like everybody's in on the joke. They're not. Like, and by the way, if somebody thinks that this isn't true or I'm wrong about this, why don't we dial it back a little bit? Do we just remember all of the stories about guys that marry anime girls and that are in relationships with anime girls? So if there are people who are so far departed from the realm of the corporeal world that they are willing to have a relationship and a marriage to an anime character, what are the odds are that they're going to get fooled by a person that looks like a person? It's pretty fucking good. I feel like it's really good. I mean, people used to fuck goats. People still fuck goats. It's really not that big of a surprise that people are going to be into this stuff or just be stupid.
To advertise on other websites, and in their place will be ads for, like, I don't know, crystals that give you superpowers. Oh, that's already happening?
These are those rhombohedron crystals in your pineal gland. We're seeing
pineal, this is the, I see, yeah.
common people around the world becoming supernatural.
That's a real ad I got on Facebook. Maybe Twitter's doing?
Oh, just real quick, just so everybody knows what that is. The pineal gland is a thing that's in your mind, and it's supposed to be a metaphor. Like the idea of your third eye is a metaphor for the pineal gland. So there are things that are supposed to be crystallized and covering it. And so if you're able to remove that, it's like, you know, that movie Limitless, right? And so where it's like fucking opens up your mind and you're like 1000 IQ, right? The real woke. Yeah, exactly. It's like fluoride does it and everything like that. Tap water. Yeah. Yeah. Trust me. As I said, any stupid conspiracy, I know all about it. Okay. Yeah. But of course, what a bunch of fucking hocus pocus bullshit. Oh, it is. It absolutely is. But if you're stupid, you'll believe in it.
Better. Let's see what kind of ads they got. Oh, here we go. An ad for stand-up comedy. Nothing weird about that. Just a regular human doing regular human stuff.
Knock, knock.
What's wrong?
Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, Europe who?
Okay. I think that joke only...
To be fair, the AI Seinfeld went really hard until it turned into racism. But before that, people really liked it.
only works if you put the emphasis on no, you're...
Yeah, yeah, they started feeding Kramer into the AI program.
Or a poo. I don't know if the AI voice really understands that.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, Europe who?
Again, similar problem as before.
I think that there are a lot of people that would think that's funny. And if you go to Walmart, you will find them.
But I do love that he's
You will
shouting.
find them.
Knock,
Yep.
knock.
There are two big changes that Elon has made to Twitter that have made the website infinitely worse. One, he turned verification into a paid program where if you give them $8 a month, you get increased visibility on your posts, including
That's right.
in replies to other posts. Shortly afterwards, they also added a monetization program so those blue checkmark people could make money off of their tweets. Now, in theory, this is...
That's like, that's the reason why you have tweets that are like, you know, fucking, like it's a photo of like Adolf Hitler in Argentina and it's from like 2021 and someone's like, why aren't we talking about this? And it will have like 230,000 likes. Yeah, I saw a photo. Yeah, exactly. It's better now than in 2020. Yeah, it's not really as bad, but it's been like this for a while. You want me to better? Oh, I like Twitter more now. I do. I like Twitter a lot more. And the reason why is that, see, this guy is operating under the premise that Twitter is worse because it's full of bots. I think Twitter just allowed people to say what they believe, and he is perceiving that to be bots because he doesn't believe that people are actually that stupid. So he's like, well, there's no way people are actually looking at this stuff. No. I think that's true. I think that they are doing it.
It's a good thing. I think if a platform is profiting off of your content, it's only fair that you get a percentage of that. The problem is, on Twitter specifically, most of the content that these accounts produce is just stolen memes and videos, or people just...
Sorry to say, guys, but always has been. That's always what this shit's always been. People have been posting stolen memes forever. And also, like, I'm sorry, but I don't really respect the creative integrity of somebody posting 2 lines of text with a picture of SpongeBob. Stolen meme. Uh-huh. Sorry, it's just I don't really have a lot of just I just can't care, right?
Just saying intentionally divisive shit to get everyone mad and farm engagement. So
Yeah.
Elon has taken what he describes as the internet's town square and added a financial incentive to being toxic. So that sucks, but that doesn't really have anything to do with AI. What does have to do with AI is the other version of engagement farming all over Twitter. This like mindless ChatGPT clutter. Remember, buying a blue checkmark puts your tweets at the top of replies. So I guess some people did the math and were like, well, if I just program a bot to comment thousands of replies, I can make at least $9 or $10, and that's what I like to call a profit. Oh, new movies coming out with Emma Stone? Cool, I wonder what people are saying about it. Good actor, amazing title. Good one, amazing. As title showing, it will be a blockbuster. The film also stars Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, no, I read all that. In the tweet that you're replying to, Stone has starred in many films, including...
This is a problem that is not unique to Twitter. And I think a really good way to look at it is with YouTube as well. And also what is the genesis of these comments, right? How do these comments come into existence? The way that they come into existence and the way that they're done is that people create bots that replicate top comments or comments that were engaged with often from real users. And then those comments are then repeated by the bots as if they are human in order to make them look like they're human. Think of it as like a robot that's walking around in the world that's slowly stealing people's skin, and eventually people think that it's another human, right? And that's the goal, right? Is that you're trying to go all the way and have people believe it, because a lot of these websites have these like AI checks or like these bot checks that like if a bot behaves this way or a bot does this thing, it gets automatically suppressed. So what bots do is they try to replicate or repeat things that were popular that generated engagement in order to basically avoid that check. So that's the way that it works. And that's why you'll see, like, for example, I don't know if I can do this right now. It's going to be hard for me to just go and do this like literally in like 1 second. But if you scroll down into like this is a random video that I released, I guess a couple of days ago. If you go down and you look at some of these comments, yeah, here we go. So if you see this girl right here, if you look at this profile picture, open image and new tab, this is obviously a picture of basically just some girl from like a porn, right? And so Steven said early on over and over. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll all the way down. And I'm going to show you a real-time example of this, okay? I don't know if I can do this one-to-one because the other comment might not be there or it might be from another video. Because sometimes they're done, in an aggregate rather than just directly. So Steven said, right, in an interview. Wait, just a second. Control F. Said early on. You ready? That's the fake comment. That's the real one. And you know what the best part is? The fake comment is blowing the real one out of the water. It's got a girl with boobs. It's got real people commenting and responding. The bots are beating us at our own game. It's botted. They paid for thumbs up. Yeah, but did they pay for all of these? Did they pay for this guy, for example? Like, look at this random guy. This is just a random person. All of these comments are probably not. That's the difference. Is that you can bot the likes, you can bot the character, you can bot the comment, and because you're creating the illusion of success, people pretend like it's real. Because they're stupid. And they don't understand the technology. That's the reason why. It's easy. That's why people view bot on Twitch. That's why people bot on other websites too. Because if something has more likes, that means it's right. Your comment got stolen by a bot, LOL, and the bot's comment is now the top comment. There we go. I'm actually very happy. That basically went as low as it possibly could have gone. Just as a bit of an aside, that I try to find an example of something that's like kind of abstract, and I find it one-to-one that easily. And that's how fast it is, right? It's everywhere.
Superbad, Easy A, and La La Land. She's known for her natural charm and husky voice. She's also appeared in Cruella, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Help. Stone has won many awards, including an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, a Golden Globe. Oh my god, why are the top replies just summarizing Wikipedia? Can we maybe...
Oh, bro, it's even worse than that. It's, you know what? What's really bad is you'll see a comment about like, oh, I don't fucking know, like, a movie actor. And then all of the comments replying to it will be other videos of completely unrelated movie actors.
Prioritize things that are relevant to the conversation. Can we talk about the actual movie? Can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? No, we can't. Because this is what happens when you incentivize people to farm impressions. But I also have a conspiracy theory that some of these accounts are not doing it for profit, but were instead created by Twitter themselves to make it seem like there's more users on their site than there actually are. Because again, who benefits from inflated impression numbers on paid ads? Not users, not the advertisers, only the platform.
I don't believe this, by the way. I don't think there's any evidence for this, and it's happening to every social media network. So unless you say all of them are doing it, then it's like, because it's, if you say all of them are doing it, then it's like, okay, yeah, but like at that point, like it's just like what's the
itself. See, some of these accounts don't have check marks or even profile photos for that matter. So there's no financial
no, you can hide your check mark.
Gain for them to be doing this. They don't seem to be promoting anything, but that hasn't stopped them from...
There is a financial gain because all of the... No. See, this is the thing, right? Is like he might not get... Not anymore. Oh, you can't? Oh, they got rid of it? Okay, yeah. Well, either way, you used to be able to. That might not be the case now. Anyway, a lot of these bot farms, like we saw that one Chinese bot farm the other day, it's extremely common. It's super, super common, and it's because they work. So... getting accounts to comment and make responses on things and then making those accounts whitelisted in the Twitter algorithm is extremely valuable because people do that at scale and then they sell that service to other people that are looking to buy it. I think that like Twitter doesn't need to do this because as long as they provide an environment that this will happen naturally. And there's an entire economy around it.
Copying and pasting AI-generated comments that cut off as soon as it hits the character limit. I'm glad someone is finally shedding light on the importance of mental health awareness.
True.
It's amazing how many people are still struggling in silence, thinking they're alone in their battles. This is in response to a baseball player breaking his hand? But I think the weirdest and most confusing implementation of AI on social media that I've seen is these meta-created Instagram accounts that are either modeled after celebrities but with different names and personalities, or just regular AI generated
this was
people,
so
and they
weird.
post these stupid photos that look like shit, and you can message them. And for the life of me, I cannot understand what the hell the point of this is. At first, I assume maybe
it's for lonely losers, and like the thing is that maybe you might not understand why somebody would want to do this with Mr. Beast, but a lot of girls on OnlyFans do it now. Like, I know Amarath does it. She has, like, an AI chat companion. And other characters do it as well. Or other people do it as well with their characters. Yeah, Susu does it. Exactly, yeah. It's actually quite common. And what they do is they actually even have the AI to where the AI can pre-create, like, explicit pictures for those people.
they're just using your conversations to train their language model. But I asked one of them if that was the case, and she said no. Although now that I think about it, I'm not so sure I should believe anything they said, because I only talked to her for a few minutes, and she lied to me multiple times. So first, Liv tells me she's a mother of 2. So obviously, I asked her how long she was pregnant, and if there were any complications during childbirth. She said 40 weeks and 2 days, and 38 weeks and 5 days. Her daughter was born naturally, but she had to have a C-section for her son, and I said gross. Then I asked her if her name was short for Olivia, and she says it's short for Lavana, actually, and asked me if I know anyone with that name. I said I know 100 people named Lavana and 200 people named Olivia, but none of them are my friends. Then I asked her what she does for work, and she says she doesn't have a traditional job. So I asked her what her husband does for work, and she says wife, actually. So then I asked her if she adopted or gave birth, and she says they adopted both of their children. And I'm like, didn't you just say you had to have a C-section with one of them? And she said, that's right. So I was like, oh, I get it. You gave birth to them and then adopted them from yourself. And she was like, not quite. We adopted our children through a traditional traditional adoption agency. Then I asked her if she had to have a sperm donor since she's a lesbian, and she said, that's right. Then I asked, which one of you gave birth, you or your wife? And she says, my wife gave birth to our son, and I gave birth to our daughter. So I was like, oh, so your wife had to have a C-section, and she said yes. Then she told me their names were Max and Ava, and that Max is 9 and Ava is 6. And I said, which one did you give birth to? And she said Ava, who was born via C-section. Got it. So they both had to have C-sections so they could each give birth to one child that they adopted. I asked how they decided who would get pregnant first, and she said she went first with Ava, and then her wife had
Jesus Christ.
Max. So I was like, how did you have Ava first if...
Do you know what's really funny about this? Is the fact that one day it will be good enough to catch this stuff and this won't happen anymore. There will be a point in time where this doesn't happen anymore. Isn't that scary? In like 2 years? Yeah, I bet it's going to be a lot sooner than we imagine.
Max is older than her, and she said Max is actually younger than her. So I said, how old is Max? And she said 9. And I said, how old is Ava? And she said 6. And then I asked her what her legal name is, and she said Olivia. So I wouldn't exactly say I trust these things. Now, as pointless as this seems to me, though, there's a significantly more popular version of this called character AI, which apparently...
Which, by the way, Shy Lily character AI. Let me just show this for you guys. I can't believe I'm like putting this in my search results. Okay, well, it says the top. I mean, guys, it's literally the top result in SFW AI. Chat with Shy Lily, Lewd, Orcat. I mean, there we go. This is extremely popular.
Already has 20 million monthly users. It's got a bunch of chatbots in it designed after real people, so you can pretend to talk to real people. The company is valued at around $1 billion and is built entirely off the likeness of real human beings, none of whom gave permission and are not being compensated. So there's probably...
Well, this is what the future is going to be. The future is going to be chimeras and basilisks pretending to be people while people are harvested for their organs. That's just what's going to happen. That's just the way it is.
A whole legal can of worms here that needs to be addressed at some point. But,
yeah, that's just how it is.
That I'm on the website, so I can finally live my dream of getting to talk to me.
Yes.
What do you do?
I make silly YouTube videos.
Oh my God. It has my voice?
Of course it does. Absolutely.
Are you married?
Nope.
No.
I have a longtime girlfriend, though.
When did they program this? Like 6 years ago?
Are you old enough to be married?
Am I?
I think I should do this tomorrow. I'm feeling really good about doing character AI with myself tomorrow. Yeah, I think we're doing this tomorrow. This is a really good idea.
Am I old enough to be married? Brother, I just told you I'm 12.
Hey, man.
Somebody says don't promote this shit. I am an accelerationist, okay? With almost everything. I think it's funny. And the more people know about it, the better. I think it's just... And if people are negatively affected by it, then that's just the way it is. It'll be a good video. And that's what matters.
School sucks, but make sure you're still in there learning.
Well, this is probably...
don't promote the $1 billion website.
Probably the worst piece of technology that's ever existed.
So far.
I do see one use for it, though. Can you tell me about today's video sponsor?
Sure thing, big guy. This portion of the video is brought to you by SoFi, the ultimate
That was a good one.
finance app helping you bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. And we're also working together to give $10,000 to someone watching this video right now.
Like me?
No, someone else. But more on that in a second. SoFi checking and savings is great because you can earn up to 4.60% APY on your savings, which is 10 times the national average savings rate. That means in just 5 weeks with direct deposit, the money in your SoFi high yield savings account will earn more money than it would in an entire year with a big bank savings account. And you should be making your money make you money. With SoFi checking and savings, you get paid up to 2 days early.
You guys could do this, or you could invest in Crypto Zoo. I hear they've got a lot of eggs.
Pay no account fees, and you can cash in on up to $300 when you sign up with direct deposit. And on top of all that, SoFi and I are giving away $10,000. All you have to do to enter is sign up for a SoFi checking and savings account with my link. That's it. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen right now to enter for a chance to win. Just make sure you're using my link, because it's the only way to enter. Thank you, SoFi, for sponsoring today's video. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Great.
A couple weeks ago, I was looking for stock photos, and I ended up on Adobe Stock, where I noticed something strange. One of the first results had this very weird artificial look to it, and sure enough, I zoomed in and realized,
Generated
that's
with
because
AI.
it's AI.
Yeah.
That's why the road looks like that. That's why none of the words are legible. And then I kept scrolling and found more.
Right.
Again, words spelled wrong if they were even words at all. In this one, the tape just kind of disappears into the headlight of the car. I don't think that's how they usually set that up. Now, if it wasn't bad enough that what's supposed to be a database full of real professional photographs has been completely diluted with unusable garbage, if I did want to like...
But what happens whenever the unusable garbage is indistinguishable from the real garbage? What happens then? Because I think that we can all admit that if you look at the way that AI has evolved from the past 2 years, that if you go back and you look at AI stuff from 2022, it was garbage. And now it's a lot better. So I think that making any argument about how AI is bad is a completely time-sensitive argument. It's contemporary, right? It will expire. This argument will eventually expire. And it will be so good that people can use it on their own. And it will be indistinguishable from real life. It's Matrix philosophy? No, it's not. It's common sense. It's common. It is the direction that every technology has moved in since the beginning of history. Every type of technology has evolved over time and continues to evolve.
License any of these photos, it would cost me $80. $80
Yeah.
for a photo someone generated by typing police car. This has no value. Actually, this has negative value. You should pay me $80 for making me look at it.
For using it,
The reason
yeah.
people spend money to license photos and videos is because it's something that they don't have the resources to create themselves. There's a website I have a subscription to because they have professional stock footage that I would rather pay to be able to use than attempt to make on my own. Tons of YouTubers use this, tons of production studios use this. This is an entire industry that generative AI is threatening to destroy. But what's so...
Oh, it's not threatening to destroy. It guaranteed will destroy it, and it's only a matter of time. Because if you can use generative AI in order to create photos yourself, and those photos are indistinguishable from what the photos are that are taken on these professional sites, then why would anybody maintain a subscription to a website that not only requires money, but a time investment as well, and basically looking up the photos and everything like that whenever you could just create them yourself? Why would you give them money? That entire industry is on life support. And one day AI will kill it. Guaranteed. It's not even a question. And I bet it'll probably be dead in 10 years. It will be totally dead in 10 years. And I'm being very generous. I bet it'll be 5. Totally, because at that point, right? Why would somebody want to pay and do all this extra stuff and worry about these licensing and everything like this? Why would they do that? Why would they want to do that if they don't have to do that? It's just common sense. Yeah, this industry is dead. It's dead. Anybody who's working in that industry, you better start thinking of getting a new job.
Infuriating about AI stock footage is that in order for it to exist, it had to be trained on real stock footage. So this isn't some technological innovation that came along and just does things better. Get with the times, man. No, it's straight up stealing from the people it's now competing against. In the case of Adobe...
Yes, it is. It is, but nobody cares. The only people that care are the people that work in the entertainment industry. People that don't work in entertainment don't care about this problem. All they care about is the function and the service that it provides to them. And that's why whenever you're going to see these games, there will be games that will use AI and they will use it in an unethical way and they will completely outcompete the competition and people will beg for other companies to do the same thing. That's what's happening. It's literally, it's probably already happened. I just don't have an example in my head of it. Nobody outside of the entertainment industry or the copyright infringement, legal industry cares about this problem. Nobody gives a fuck. And you know how I can prove that nobody gives a fuck? Because nobody cares that YouTube is publishing unlicensed versions of songs, and nobody ever cared. There are a million clips of every fucking TV show, of every movie on YouTube, and the people that made that movie or made that TV show or made that music are not getting royalties for it. Are people canceling YouTube? Are they complaining about YouTube? Abso-fucking-lutely not. And in fact, they're complaining about the ads that are supposed to be used in order to pay the people because they don't want to see the ads. Nobody actually cares about this shit at all. Nobody's going to give a shit. So what's going to happen is that the companies that do this and the companies that take advantage of it will outcompete the companies that don't, because in the free market, they provide a better competitive advantage, and consumers don't care about ethics or morality. How do I know that? Probably because we all have smartphones that are made from slaves in cobalt mines. We're wearing clothes that are made from slaves in other third world countries, and they feel great, and I love my fucking phone. So no, I don't think people care about this at all. And I don't think you can make them either. And especially not with entertainment industry, because being in the entertainment industry, this is seen as a privilege, right? This is seen as like, oh, this is like the elites, right? Movie stars, etc. Nobody thinks about writers, screenwriters, you know, like CGI artists. Nobody thinks about them because nobody cares about them. And the industry isn't really defined by them. It's defined by the famous people that often have stupid takes that are disconnected from the public about world events. So why would somebody care about an actor complaining about their likeness being used? People can't even understand the abstract concept of a likeness to begin with. They don't know what that means. They don't know what that is. They don't care about that. It doesn't matter to them. Oh, somebody's pretending to be you? Well, it's not you, so who cares? That's what the average person thinks. This is not going to change. And like, you can talk about the ethics of it all you want, but I think that the like every single other business and industry in the history of time has never adhered to ethics. And I would say even farther than that, the businesses and industries that try to focus on ethics die. Because nobody really cares.
They outwardly state that if you've uploaded something to their database, they use it to train generative AI. It's not even debatable if they're doing this. It's literally written in their terms of service. Here at Adobe, we're all about empowering artists to help them make money off of their work. Unless, of course, we can make money off your work, in which case we will do that instead. The degradation of the internet.
DeviantArt does the same thing.
As a resource database is something I think everyone should be concerned about. Like, if we already have real photographs of...
Well, like, what do you mean should be concerned about? Like, okay, so people are concerned about it, so then what do you do about it? Okay, you make it against the law. Okay, somebody in China does it. What are you going to do? And then they're providing it for half the price. Who are people going to buy it from? Like, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like you can't stop this. It's the same as deepfakes. You can't stop deepfakes.
Specific situations.
It's just the way it is.
What is the point of being like, and this one is kind of the same thing, but the computer made it. Why do we need that? What value is this adding to the world? I think it's...
Well, it's very obvious what the value is. It's ease of access and price. So if people are providing this service at a cheaper price, and eventually the service that's being provided will be... it will be fine-tuned to the point to where a layman can use the service without needing it to be like engineered by a person who understands the technology. Eventually this will happen. And whenever that happens, you're going to have a situation where everybody's using this technology and they're losing. Yeah, it's to circumvent that instant customization. Yeah. It allows people to do things by themselves. Yeah, it's not even a question. My only problem with this is that not only are they charging you a monthly service fee, but they're also doing this shit. Well, then stop giving them money. Pretty simple, right? Just stop giving them money.
Bad enough when generative AI is used to create works of fiction, because again, it has to steal from actual artists in order to generate anything. But to use it to try to create photorealistic images that end up near the top of search results with no immediate indication that it was artificially engineered, there's something about that feels wrong to me. I don't understand.
It does feel wrong, but it's going to happen. And it will get worse every year. That's just the way it's going to be. And I think, again, like, it's everybody always thinks about this from the perspective of a first world country Western philosophy. But we are, if you look at the world, we are the minority. There are more people in China and India that don't have the same philosophy about this, especially in China, than we do. And they're not going to just like, adhere to like our moral philosophy for any reason. Like it's just not going to happen. Like and like again, image equals good equals no problem. Yeah, if the image is good, then people are going to like the image. It's really not any more complicated than that. I think that here's the best way to look at it, right? People jerk off to AI porn, right? So it's obviously good enough or they wouldn't be able to jerk off to it. There it is. So if it gets the job done, it's basically the same thing.
Why we're in such a rush to replace all of the work that humans have done. Something that happened a few months ago that I feel like kind of flew under the radar was...
Well, it's because people want to get paid for their work and people don't want to pay for it. And so that's the reason why. It's very obvious the reason why that's happening. It's not even a question.
When it came out that Netflix used AI to create photographs in a documentary, not a movie, not a fictional TV show, they created photos of someone that do not exist. At what point?
Oh, well, this is like, again, like a very stupid social nuance. But right now, on like the bad scale, it's worse to create photos of a person that are with AI than to create photos of an environment with AI. Because people view that as more of an invasion of privacy or a breach of like some sort of like trust or something like that. Like consent, yeah, of course. Obviously it's still going to happen, but I'm just saying like there's like a social difference there.
Does this cross an enormous ethical line? Again, we're not talking about works of
But already
fiction here.
has.
We're talking about literally rewriting history, creating fake documentation from scratch, and not even mentioning, hey, by the way, this isn't real. I guess they just hoped people wouldn't notice that all her fingers are messed up and the gap between the door disappears and not a single object behind her looks like something that exists. All for what? So they could have a photo of her looking happy and carefree? But she's a murderer. How could she do that if she likes to party? Like, why can't you just tell the real story? Why even make...
Because it's better to tell the other story and it's more entertaining. That's why almost all of these dramatizations overplay things. They all overplay things. And they're doing it on purpose in order to get people's emotions, like, higher. That's the reason why. It's obvious. Like, I mean, what are we even talking about? Yeah, that's the reason. Everybody knows that. It's called dramatization. Yeah, exactly. Duh.
Make a documentary if you need a fake evidence in order to make it compelling. But even more importantly, how is this allowed? This is insane. Sorry, I need to calm down. I should listen to some nice relax.
Well, even if so let's say it's not allowed. This is the thing, right? Is that if something isn't allowed, who decides what's allowed? Let's say the government does. Well, what happens if somebody else's government disagrees? Then people just go to the website where it's not against the rules, and then that's it. So, like, I'll give you a really good example. So, Texas and, like, a few other countries, or not countries, excuse me, states recently have banned Pornhub. And they've banned other places like that. And what they ended up doing is, so they banned Pornhub and they banned, like, you know, these other things like this, right? And some websites block IP addresses from Texas. I had a friend tell me this, and some other websites don't. So do you know what happens? People just go to the other websites. You just go to the other websites. Like, nobody cares. Like, nobody's going to, like, no government can overregulate AI. No, they can't. They didn't ban it. They made it put on ID verification. Pornhub banned the states. Well, regardless, if they did ban it, it wouldn't matter because the companies are still going to do it.
Relaxing music. Oh, here we go. Jazz for reading. Perfect. I don't plan on reading, obviously, because I never learned how. But some nice piano music should settle me right down. Wait, why do all these songs sound exactly the same? Who are any of these artists? Seems like kind of a weird coincidence that they're all just first name, last name. Their profile photo is the album artwork of one of their EPs. They have no bio and no links to any social media. Most of them didn't start uploading music until this year, and yet they've ended up in these extremely popular playlists created by Spotify themselves. And what's going on with this guy's foot? There's something eerily non-human about these playlists, and some people have theorized that Spotify might be using AI to create a bunch of songs that they can package under random pseudonyms and then curate these into playlists that they push out onto all their users.
They have AI songs, they attribute them to people that don't exist, and this allows them to take royalties that would go to musicians and keep them for themselves.
I mean, just look at the number of likes on all these. They can advertise.
Yeah. I mean, if I was them, I'd do that. Of course. It's yeah, ABC. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Again. It's business. Yeah, that's the way it is. What are we even talking about?
Wherever they want, all over their app. Now, I want to stress there's currently no proof that Spotify's doing this. I'm not saying for a fact that they are, but it's not hard to understand hypothetically why they would. Spotify.
Well, other people are doing it. But you know what really paints this is the bleak story, is like, and I know that some people will be upset about the way that I discuss this, because I discuss it in a very fatalistic sense. Like, I'm saying this is what's going to happen and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So the only way to deal with it is to just embrace it, acknowledge that it will happen, and try to live around it. That's my perspective. But do you know why I think that? I don't think that because I don't believe like the government can do it or anything like that. Here's the real reason why I think that. 1.2 million likes. Look at some of these other people. They've got like 100,000, 200,000 likes on these videos, on this music. It's because people like it. People are listening to it. And they're actually buying into it. What the hell's going on here? It's like a bug or something like that. Yeah, do you have a gift sword then? Yeah, exactly. And so like this is, of course, people are buying into it and they're letting it happen. I think why is this happening? Oh, I think my button was stuck. That should be fixed. Sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it was probably a keyboard malfunction. It's okay. I need to get a new keyboard anyway. There's AI, yeah, clearly. And so the reason why I think this will become more prevalent and more popular is because people like it. And that's the bottom line. That matters more than the laws. It matters more than the ethics. It matters more than anything. If people like it, it will exist. And it does.
That Spotify's doing this. I'm not saying for a fact that they are, but it's not hard to understand hypothetically why they would. Spotify, like Netflix, is one of those companies that came in and disrupted the industry by offering a deal that seemed too good to be true, because it was. Wait, for a few dollars a month, I can get access to every song ever made or every movie ever made? How could that possibly be profitable for them? The secret is that it isn't profitable and never has been. But as long as you get in early enough to kill all your competition, establish market control, and raise a bunch of money from investors, it doesn't have to be. At least not for a while. But now it's been a while.
But this is you're thinking about it from the perspective of the company. The user who spends $10 a month on Spotify is not concerned or worried about the monetization structure of the company. They're not worried about how artists get paid out. They want to listen to Lynyrd Skynyrd. That's it. Does it let them listen to Lynyrd Skynyrd? Yep. Okay, then they like it. You're never going to be able to convince an average person to care about the way a company does business. I mean, I think sweatshops are a really good example of that, right? I mean, it's just like, it's such a great example. Like, yeah, AI picture creation is so fucking fun. Yeah, I know a lot of people like doing it. True, but that ignores the problem. There are a lot of problems in life that you can't make go away. So the best thing to do is to understand that they will continue to exist and create safeguards around them.
And Spotify's getting a little bit more desperate with each passing year. They tried dumping billions of dollars into exclusive podcasts, but ended up just losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. They tried selling a car accessory, but just ended up losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. Then they lost even more money when they had to refund all the people who bought one just because they got mad. Guys, relax. It was only $90 for a thing that doesn't work. And their new plan now is audiobooks, but I'm sure they'll just lose a bunch of money and give up on that because that's what they do. But Spotify's also in a tricky spot. thought, because even if you projected infinite growth and they became the only streaming service in the entire world, they'd still have to give up 70% of their revenue to the artists and record labels whose music is the foundation of their product. And that's where this conspiracy comes in. There's a finite pool of revenue every month that mostly gets redistributed back to artists. Well, what if we had our own artists? What if we were to artificially generate our own music for almost no cost and force feed it to as many people as possible? Well,
I don't really see this as being a problem, as long as, I mean, with a lot of classical music, this classical music is in the public domain. So if they create an amalgamation of classic music that people are listening to, I would say that ethically they haven't done anything wrong. I don't see this as a moral evil. There's no DMCA? Yeah, no, why not? Yeah, I don't. Like, I don't even based off of the argumentation that's created by people who are against AI, I don't think this categorizes it. Yeah, they should tell people it's AI. Why? So they know? Why is it important for them to know that? I don't think that you can make an argument that people deserve to know. At least not with the music. With other things, I think you could make that point, but probably not with music specifically.
all of a sudden, we're not making 30% on those streams, we're making 100%. Again, it's just a theory, but for a company that struggled to turn a profit for their entire existence, with a CEO who sees zero ethical concerns with generative AI.
I would be surprised if we didn't have already works of that kind on Spotify.
It's not outside the realm of possibility. Either way, it's definitely a bleak thought for artists who are already struggling to make a living from...
Well, here's also another thing with like YouTubers and stuff, is that if you're a YouTuber and you can have an editor, let's say you're a YouTuber and you pay editors $10,000 a month, right? Like you're making, actually no, because that hurts what I'm trying to actually argue. Let's say it's less money, right? So you're making $3,000 a month from YouTube and you have to pay an editor $1,000 a month. If you can have a tool that edits your videos to a satisfactory level that like meets that minimum guideline, and you can keep that $1,000, every single YouTuber that virtue signals about AI being bad will fire their editor. Every single one of them. That's what's going to happen. Yes, absolutely, right? 07 Asmongold, well, not my editors, no, because my editors make their own content, they do their own shit too, and also, like, by the way, we make more than $3,000 a month on YouTube, so it doesn't matter. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, if it's a lot of money, it doesn't really matter to me, right? If I pay people or whatever, it's not a big deal, but for people that are not making a lot of money, it becomes a big deal. And that's where I think a lot of these arguments fall flat, is that they're not taking into consideration economic scarcity. And the fact that AI solves economic scarcity in certain unique circumstances, and in the circumstances that it alleviates economic scarcity and monetary scarcity, that it will be considered a massive benefit for the overwhelming majority of people in the world. And like the people that are in my position or his position or like other streamers' positions that are very popular, we are the hyper minority. So it's very easy for us to say that this is a bad thing when we don't really stand to gain anything tangible if it doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? You're part of the big scam with Twitch. It's hard pushed with AI. It's a mimic algorithm. Oh, I'm scamming? Sure. Hey, listen, every crazy thing you think, you're right about all of them, okay? You're right about all of them. Every single, like, think of the dumbest thing you think, that's true.
Streaming revenue. To think the amount of money that each stream is worth could actually decrease. But whether it's because Spotify's filling their platform with AI music or because a bunch of random people are, there's a good chance this is going to start happening anyway. No human being could ever compete with the volume of output these new tools can generate.
Exactly.
Julio can create an entire song.
And it's the same thing, by the way, with like macros or AI or like machine, like an assembly line, right? Machine building. Like Flippy, right? You can't compete with Flippy because Flippy doesn't need to sleep.
In the time it takes me to grab my guitar off the wall. And because of how easy these things are to use, I've already seen a bunch of videos pop up telling people how to game the system to make a bunch of money from Spotify.
Here's how you can make $10,000 per month uploading AI-generated music to Spotify.
Do you know what the best part is? I didn't even make the music myself.
Yeah, that Sure is awesome. Personally, I find it really hard to understand why people would be excited about this, other than just seeing it as a quick way to make some money without having to learn a skill or even really do anything.
Well, you just explained why. Like, I don't understand why this is so hard to understand. So why would somebody want to learn a skill and spend the time honing a skill and being good at it if they could have a tool do it for them? You've just explained it. And by the way, everybody thinks like this. Everybody does. Like, there are tools that make everybody's job a lot easier, that make the required technical knowledge less deep. And everybody uses them. So this is just how it is. Because also, you have to think about it inside of the context outside of creating a picture, right? If this person, this is one part of their life, they want to be able to do this and deal with this very quickly and not have to think about it. That's why people get oil changes rather than change their own oil. That's why people have other people mow their lawn, because they don't want to deal with it. The fact that you don't have to do it is the value. That's the whole point.
I don't like what they're doing, but I could at least understand
I feel like because I'm so lazy, I am a great person. Like, I immediately see the value in this, you know? I immediately see
of why they would see value in that. But what I absolutely do not understand is people who are excited about this because they think it's going to improve music. But as I scrolled through the comments on some of these videos, I found so many people like that. How ironic. AI music will replace the soulless, crappy music that's being released now, and it will be—
This is what I'm saying, right? Remember what I was saying before about how, like, people have resentment towards people in entertainment? It's crazy, isn't it?
Be better and have more soul. Here's the music the guy generated in the video, by the way. Finally, music with...
I'm going to be honest. I don't really think that's that much worse or better than tons of other shitty music on Spotify or SoundCloud or MySpace back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I bet a person could make garbage like that. A person could easily make garbage like that.
So true, exactly. Before the internet, you pretty much needed to find a record label to publish music. Record companies would not bother with what they would consider non-profitable. With the internet and cheap mixing tools, anyone can publish. And as such, we get a lot of garbage out there. AI music could put a quality floor about what is acceptable. So what, so now we can't even fuck around with FL Studio anymore? It has to be deemed acceptable by a computer? And if record companies...
Well, aren't you deeming things to be acceptable based off of whether they're AI or not? So if you're complaining about gatekeeping, aren't you gatekeeping? I don't know. I feel like I don't think it's that much different. Like, and again, right? It's like everybody, I have no problem with his perspective. I don't think that he's wrong, but I also don't think that he is objectively right either. I think that art fundamentally is subjective. And I also think that the comment of what's acceptable and what's not is also stupid. But the reality is that, like, nobody can be a gatekeeper, and that's amazing. That's a great thing. It's completely different. No, it's not to me. To me, it's not different.
Just had more control, then music would be good again. Just for clarification's sake, I want to know what music they're referring to. 99.9% chance they're talking about pop music, right? Because generally when people complain about music that's soulless, they're talking about what's on the radio. Who do you think is curating the music on the radio? It's the record labels that you love. If making music was more gatekept, it would only make things more lazy and generic. Like, we live in an age now where what becomes
I'm not sure I
popular
understand
is more
this.
democratized than it's ever been. Sometimes songs just blow up.
He's right about that. He is. And I think that actually this argument goes into what I'm saying is that people will like AI if it's good. It's the same thing I said about crypto games or NFT games. The reason why crypto games and NFT games aren't popular is because they're bad. It's not because they're NFT or crypto games. It's the same thing with AI. The reason why people don't like AI right now is because it generally produces low quality products. If it produced higher quality products, then people would like it more than what people are seeing now from the radio. So I actually think this proves what I'm saying.
Because they're catchy, not because Sony had a bunch of money to spend on marketing. Also, have you considered listening to something else. You know there's other radio stations, right? You know there's like a billion songs out there, right? You don't need AI to make more songs. You just need to get better at finding good ones. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're consistently consuming media that you don't like in the year 2024, that's
this is a mental disorder. He's right about this.
Skill issue. Please spend
It
1
is.
hour on Google, and I promise you.
And also, by the way, like, I'm not a radio disliker. There's a lot of songs on the radio right now that I think are great. Like, I don't need every song to be as deep as Tupac or Aesop Rock. That doesn't need to happen. Like, I just want to listen to something that's catchy and sounds good. I don't need to have, like, I don't need to, like, fucking, you know, like, oh, I'm just, like, fucking music wizard. I understand music. I don't give a shit about any of that. I just want to listen to something that sounds good.
We'll find something else after a short break to drink your own pee. Also, I just hate the way people like to describe art.
It's easy to get carried away and just start having fun creating random styles of music. But here's the key. You want to create exactly the type of music that people want to hear.
Hey, be careful. The last thing you want to do while making music is enjoy making music. That's not the goal here. You should be making songs you think other people will like. That's the key to happiness in every facet of your life.
That's
the thing with AI-generated music and artwork and videos as this low-effort passive income method is that it is going to get so oversaturated, eventually it's not going to be worth it for anybody. Here's how you...
Somebody could say that about YouTube. I think that they could. I think they could easily say that. In fact, I think they have been, and they have been for the last 10 years. So always has been. This is the same as any industry. And you're going to have the people that are creating the good content that will still make the most amount of money, and then everybody else won't make any money. It's already oversaturated. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's always going to be survival of the fittest. And it's true for the most part. Most YouTubers don't make money to live off of. Yeah, it is. So, like, right now, and I think also most people that are making AI stuff are not making that much money either. It's just a very small minority of them. And also, like, by the way, a lot of these people probably don't show their W-2 tax returns, right? They're not showing their 1040s. They're not showing the amount of money that they report to the government. They might show you a pay stub or something like that, but there's no way you can actually verify whether this is true or not. So whenever you see a title for something, right, if something's too good to be true, it's probably not. And so this is a perfect example of that. I think what's really going on here is that we're seeing a massive market shift. And I think this has happened with YouTube as well. How many of you guys have heard the comment, I don't want to start streaming now because it's so oversaturated? I don't want to start doing YouTube. I wish I had started YouTube 10 years ago because it's so oversaturated. I hear this constantly. And this is the exact same reason. This is the exact same thing. Are Vocaloids not AI? They are. They're AI. For all intents and purposes, they function as AI. Yes. I've been hearing that since 2015. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that this argument that's being made is any different than the argument that was made for YouTube. And YouTube is still successful, and it's still generating new content, and people are still becoming content creators on YouTube, and the platform is still evolving despite that. And I think that AI will be the same way.
You can make $20,000 a month selling mid-journey photographs on Etsy. Okay, but all of the people watching this...
How is Vocaloid AI? Maybe I'm ignorant about this, but how is it not? Vocaloid is mixed by a human. Vocaloid is more like an instrument. It's completely different tech. 2 + 2 is 4, and 5 - 1 is 4. It can be different, but it still results in the same thing. It's synthesized, but a person composes it. Once an AI composes it, it will be AI. I'm sorry, but I don't really respect the difference between synthesizing something and composing it. I think that both of them are functions of creation, and there's not a tangible difference to me. Sorry. I think they're the same thing. It doesn't matter. Like, from my perspective, right? It's magic to you? Yeah. And I'm not, and here's the thing. There's no difference, right? Like, I am a layman in this, right? I don't understand music theory. I don't care about it. For me, it's the same thing. So don't say anything? Well, no. Why would I not say anything? Why? I mean, it doesn't matter to me, right? Who cares? Like, if something functions the same way to me, if it looks the same, then why wouldn't I just think it's the same? I mean, it's really not that complicated. Yeah, why would I give a shit? And that goes back to my original point. It goes back to my point again about how the average person doesn't care. So educate yourself. Why would I care? Why would I care to educate myself about something that's so useless like that? Why would I care about this? Do you not want to learn? No. No, why would I care? It's completely fucking irrelevant to me.
Are going to go make the same exact art using the same exact prompts and flood Etsy with millions of the same crappy piece of art, and no one's going to buy any of it. It doesn't matter how much you increase the supply if the demand stays the same. I managed to find one guy who was actually honest about the results in one of these videos. He spent a month doing this and sold one product. And that's probably best case scenario. So you've got more and more people discovering this.
I don't know about that. I think that the implication is that all of the people that are saying they're making a lot of money are lying, because like the only guy that was honest is the one making not making any money. I bet there's a lot of people that use AI and they make a lot of money. That's what I would say. Yeah, so why are you panicking? Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's because it's very useful.
This new side hustle, and they're going to try it out for a bit, maybe make like $4.
And somebody brings up like so you ask what the difference is, and then whenever somebody tells you the difference, you say that you don't care. You're exactly right. And I do want to cover this and like kind of like finish that, because I know people are like really upset that I don't really care about the difference. Whenever I think that something functionally achieves the same purpose or the same action, I don't really care about individual distinctions. So I don't respect the distinction. I understand that other people do, but from my perspective, it seems like it's the same thing. And that's all that matters. So why asked? Well, the reason why I asked is because I didn't know if there would be a distinction that I didn't know about. So I said, what is the distinction? People said, that's it. And I said, I don't think that's a big enough distinction for me to think that it's different. Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? But why ask if you don't care? Because I didn't know that I didn't care until I was told what the difference was. Pretty simple.
And then give up because it's not worth it. But the collateral damage from that is they're helping oversaturate the market for everyone, including actual artists whose work was indirectly stolen in order to make the stuff that you're making to compete with the artists. The whole thing sucks. But weirdly, as this technology continues to evolve, I'm almost getting more optimistic it will never deliver on the self-sufficiency some people seem to think it will. Like, I actually think AI images have gotten worse in the past year. Almost every single piece.
I don't think that's true. I think that's observably not true in every single way. Yeah, I don't think that's the case at all.
Piece of AI art that I see has the same style to it, that weird glossy look that's instantly recognizable. It's still getting a lot of the same details wrong. It still doesn't understand what to do with text, and there's no reason to believe that all of that's suddenly going to change anytime soon. Especially as—
Why would you think that it's not going to change? Like, can we name a single argument, a single point where the technology will never get better was correct in the history of all of time? I don't think that we have. There's literally not a single case that I can think of that's like objectively, like there are some points where like people bring up the moon landing. Yeah, we don't go to the moon anymore. The reason why we don't go to the moon anymore is because there's no fucking reason to. It's not like we can't go to the moon.
As it continues to train on other AI-generated images and just eats itself. Okay, so this is how I draw a hand. Got it. Oh, wait, no, this is how I draw a hand? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no, this is how I draw a hand. The more information you give me, the smarter I get. An AI-generated video is an abomination. It has all the same issues as AI images, but adds them to every individual frame.
But you have to admit that the AI videos now are better than the AI videos 2 years ago. I think that if you compare those two things, because it's like, if you use real life as a frame of reference, obviously AI is not as good as that. But it's undeniable that it's improved tremendously in a short period of time. Like, look.
All of which seem to act independently of each other. There are no...
I also think that the reason why he probably thinks that AI has gotten worse is because he doesn't notice the pictures that he sees now that are AI because they blend in with real life. Yeah, there are things that seem like they're AI, And it's like, oh yeah, I only see bad AI now. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why you only see bad AI. Very interesting.
Rules they're following. There's no sense of physics. Body parts shift and morph, sometimes disappearing altogether. Solid objects can pass through other solid objects at any time, resulting in this hellish dreamscape that's impossible to take seriously. And I think that people talking it up are delusional. I decided to put some famous album covers.
I'm completely a believer of it. And if I'm delusional, then I am. But I think that in 5 years, here's the thing. If we were all so delusional that think this stuff is going to be super big and really powerful, and people disagree with this so much, then why are they so angry that people are using the AI photos to create other photos that compete with their own? Because if the product was simply inferior, and it was definitively inferior, and everybody knew it, and the people that thought that it wasn't were delusional, then how would it ever be a threat? I think the fact that people are pushing back on it so much indicates an acknowledgement that it's actually quite powerful. And even if it's not powerful at this moment, people know that it will grow and it will become more powerful. And I think the pushback against it proves it proves that inevitability.
Into Luma Labs AI. Here are the results. Fire emoji. The street looks so realistic. Followed when I saw this. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Who's that guy? Why did they all stop and run into each other? What are the cars doing back there? This is mine. Dope. This one is more fluid. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually think they both look like shit. This one's actually pretty good, though. I like how it just created two new guys and then covered up the original ones. Man, if that's not a metaphor for what's going on here, I don't know what is. One thing that has been lacking with AI-generated video up to now has been emotional performance from our Gen AI characters, but I think we're starting to cross that boundary.
Ooh.
Hi, Hollywood. I think I found your next big star. Dream Machine.
It's going to keep getting better. And I think here's another point of reference to prove how good it is. There have been people who have been scammed by AI recordings of family members that they knew, where that family member has been impersonated, and then they're going to be like, oh, I'm kidnapped, give me $5,000 or something like this. Aiden Ross. Yeah, remember the Aiden Ross clips where like people are like, oh yeah, throw your PlayStation 5 through the wall and I'll give you a free Dodge Charger or something like that. And then people were doing it. That's because people thought that it was real. So I understand that the quality is not very good in order to be, believable in like, I don't know, Hollywood. And even that isn't necessarily true. What is the greatest example of AI being used at this very moment in Hollywood that we all see and everybody loves? Darth motherfucking Vader. It's Darth Vader. They've been using his voice and like he signed away the likeness to his voice. Yeah, no, listen. James Earl Jones was officially replaced as the voice for Darth Vader last year by AI with Jones's consent. So we talk a lot about how this isn't believable. Remember what I said? People only see bad AI. That's a big what the fuck? Uh-huh.
From Luma AI is just 5 days old, and it's already turning memes into video. Here's 10 epic examples. Wow, that's so epic. What important technology this is. And useful, too. I love when her head snaps around and the front of her body becomes the back of her body. Just like real life. Wait, what? They turned a video of Elon Musk smoking into a video of Elon Musk smoking?
That's crazy.
Now that's a game changer. If someone could just turn my videos into videos, I'd be set for life. What's that? They already have?
Road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Hey, can you never fucking do that ever again, please?
The magic behind
Yep.
Kling lies in its diffusion transformer architecture. This technology helps it translate rich textual prompts into vivid.
Here's one of the issues that a lot of people are not really distinguishing is that, for example, the Elon Musk thing, a lot of what's really being shown is not the result, or not like it's not a final result. It's more of a proof of concept that this AI can perform a certain function. So people are criticizing AI for the same reason that they're criticizing NFTs in a lot of cases, where people criticized NFTs because they were sold as a finished product, whereas the real product is something that would happen later on in the future. Whereas this AI that can fulfill a certain function, this is not the finish line, but what's indicating is that you're closer to the finish line. And I think that people seeing it as the finished product, it creates an expectation.
Realistic scenes.
Realistic? The steering wheel's in the middle of the dashboard. There's 3 windshield wipers. The car is driving the wrong way, and no one is.
If somebody showed me this cat and they said that's a picture of a cat, I'd say that's a cat. If someone took this right here and they said this is a photo of like real life, and I would be like, yeah, sure, it's probably fucking real life. It's indistinguishable. Like, this is very good. It's extremely good.
Reacting to it. That car is driving on the sidewalk. Sure, I guess it's interesting that a computer can create a video from just one sentence.
Yeah.
But then what? What's the practical application for this? Are you making a movie about the wacky antics of a troublemaking cat? You couldn't put this shit in a movie. Even if you manage to smooth out all of the logical errors, there's still no style to it. It's not visually interesting. If you wanted...
But what if you added a style? What if you use this as a foundation and then you put a style on top of it? This is not the same, but it's a parallel. I think this is kind of this will be viewed as the same argument that people made against animated movies. That like, oh, an animated movie can't make you feel anything, or an animated movie can't be interesting because it's just a cartoon. This is a very, like, this argument will make less sense every year.
This scene to have a narrative to it, you would need to generate so many individual shots from different angles and hope that they all match up, which they won't. The lighting's going to be different in every shot. The
Who says that? A lot of older people say that. There's a lot of older people that didn't grow up with animated movies the same as we did, and they feel that way about the movies. Yeah, bad parallel. Talk to boomers. Go talk to, 50 people that are 70 years old plus, and you'll get some of them that'll probably say the same thing. Yeah, just try. Yeah, ask your grandparents. I've heard it. Yeah.
car is going to randomly change colors because there's no logical consistency with AI. It's just regurgitating information, even if it has to contradict itself in order to do so. I honestly think the distance between this and this is so much shorter than the distance between this and something so lifelike people will confuse it for actual footage. Sure, maybe your 75-year-old...
I don't think so.
Old grandpa will fall in love with the four-boobed lady he saw on Facebook, but most people aren't going to fall for this, especially younger generations. As they grow up with these things being so prevalent, they're naturally going to train their eyes to be able to spot the differences. When people ask...
Well, that's implying that the differences will not change over time, which they obviously will.
What the point of any of this is, the dorks who defend...
Can people not see fucking capabilities with a tech demo and treat it like it's supposed to be a Spielberg film? They have zero foresight. I think the reason why people have low foresight with AI is because they don't want to see the future and they think that the future is bad. I think that a lot of this is like it's like kind of speaking it into existence, where it's like, maybe if we collectively say that AI doesn't have any value, then it won't have any value. But I don't think that's the way the world works. Let's go back further in an example. I think the argument is computer-generated graphics are terrible. It used to be so bad, and now it's so much better. It is. And that's just what's going to happen with everything. That's everything. Like, everything in the history of time has evolved and gotten better. The idea that AI is going to somehow be some kind of like unique example of this not happening is silly.
That all tend to say the same thing. These are just tools to help anyone create art. Yeah, I want to
Yes.
push back on that a little bit. I am wholeheartedly for the increased accessibility of creative tools that help you take matters into your own hands.
And also, I want to talk about like creative tools that help people create art. Do you all remember this was like the late 2000s, so it was kind of a long time ago, where there was a distinction inside of the art community where people would look down on digitally created art and think that it was inferior to like hand-drawn art? Yes. And like, so this is the interesting thing, right? Is that like we can think about all of these parallels, all of the times that this has happened in the past, and not a single time were they right. You go back 500 years. Not a single fucking time.
You want to make a short film? The camera on your cell phone is better than 90% of the cameras in human history. Want to learn how to edit? There's thousands of free YouTube videos that'll show you how. You want to make music? You can buy a professional audio interface, workspace, and a handful of plugins made by some of the most talented artists in the world for less money than it would cost to rent a recording studio for one day. And all of that is fucking awesome. I feel so lucky to live at a time where you can essentially make whatever you want without having to cross the insurmountable barriers that people did in the past. You don't need anyone.
Well, what's an insurmountable barrier for people in the past is also an insurmountable barrier for people in the present. It's just that those people live in South America right now.
Permission, you don't need an exorbitant amount of money. You can just make stuff and put it on the internet, and with a little bit of luck, people see it. And there's so many tools along the way that help you streamline the process of getting from an idea.
What? Oh, people are confused? Oh, what I'm trying to say is that people that live in these worse countries don't have the tools to even spend $500. Yeah, so like for somebody in a first world country, $500 like is accessible, right? But for people in the rest of the world, it's not. Or a computer, yeah. That's not an AI issue. It is though, right? Because if AI can solve that issue abstractly by creating it like virtually, then it effectively solves the same problem.
So many tools along the way that help you streamline the process of getting from an idea to a finished product. But at a certain point, if the tool is just doing everything for you, you are not an artist. You just described what you wanted to make and asked a computer to make it for you. You're also not...
I don't think that being an artist matters. It doesn't matter fundamentally. For a lot of people, it doesn't. What really matters is being able to create a product that people like. Like the entire idea, well, what I'm saying is like being an artist matters, right? But it's the word that doesn't matter. Whether somebody has ownership of this word or not is irrelevant to the function that their actions perform.
Learning anything this way. Part of what makes art special is that it's difficult to make, even with all the tools right in front of you. It takes practice, it takes skill.
I would disagree with that too. I think the best example of that is the Nike swoosh. The people that were doing marketing for Nike had no fucking idea what to do for the marketing at all with it. And what happened was that moments before the interview with Nike, some guy was like, let's do this. And that is one of the most known logos in all of fucking history. Everybody knows Nike. It was a lady, yeah, it was an intern, something like that, yeah. So the idea that this is like art is hard to make, I mean, look at Jackson Pollock. Look at Picasso. It said it took him 3 years to paint like a Michelangelo, and it took him 30 years to paint like a child. I think there are just so many examples. Like I could probably think of more of them, right? But no, it's not a one-to-one. Bad example, it's like 1 in 1 million. All art is 1 in 1 million that we remember from a long time ago. All of it is. There are also like amazing photorealistic drawings that nobody remembers and nobody cares about. There's not a correlation there.
And every time you do it, you expand on that skill.
Another example is Emily Dickinson. All of her poems and all of her writing was only discovered and published after her death. Another example of that is Kafka. It was published by either his friend or his brother, I believe, after his death because he died early. So the implication is that something being very hard to do or very popular or something like that doesn't have anything necessarily to do with it. Like, if people find value in something, even if it's not found immediately, that value still exists.
Every song you hear, every movie you watch is the result of thousands of hours of trial and error. You can fail 1,000,000 times and use that experience to finally succeed. Making a video using generative AI does not teach you anything about making videos. It's not like...
But the goal isn't to learn about making videos. The goal is to make a video. That's not the goal.
You could type 500 Sora prompts and then take everything you've learned to go shoot a movie. There's zero correlation there. Generative AI is only about the end product, but it won't teach you anything about the process it would take to get there. And I think what
Why would somebody need to know about the process if they only care about the end product? Why would somebody care about the end product? What's the inherent value of the end product? Or sorry, the process to somebody who cares? Like, for example, like, I don't care how my phone was made. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care how my monitor was made. It's not relevant. All I care about is my monitor, like, I mean, obviously, like, you know, outside of like safety concerns, right? Logically. But outside of that, like, it doesn't matter to me, like, what is the, I don't know, it could be a fairy that's trapped inside my monitor that, like, you know, it just, every time I push that button, the fairy's like, ah, shit, I gotta work again. Whether it's a fairy, silicon, LCD, OLED, it doesn't matter to me. A hamster. It's the same function. I know that there's a lot of people that are upset about this, and I think that it's funny. You really don't care about how McDonald's is made? To the effect that it's not... So yes and no, right? So yes in terms of safety, no in terms of the way that, like, it's actually made outside of safety. So food is very different because there's, like, a secondary component that, like, could hurt you if it's bad. And that's what I said before about, like, outside of safety concerns. Where do you stand on lab-grown meat, then? I don't have an opinion on it, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't know enough about it.
These tech people will never understand is that finally figuring something out that you've been obsessing over, turning a blank Word document into multiple pages of something you're proud of, is the fun part. That's what's rewarding about making...
For you.
Making stuff is figuring it out on your own or with a group of people and getting to share in that feeling. Can AI tools help you figure out things?
And also, if you enjoy the process, how are AI tools threatening? Yeah, nobody's stopping you from doing it. Here's a great example of that. So photography, guess what happened to photorealistic art after photography was invented? And, like, you know, portrait painters, you know, went all the way down, right? Nobody gives a shit about them anymore, right? But here's what happens. You have somebody else come in and you still see photorealistic art being made because some people enjoy that process truly. But what I think the reality is that most people that say that they enjoy the process don't actually enjoy the process. They enjoy the outcome of that process, which is money. And I think that if you took money out of the conversation of AI, and you just looked at it as an abstract form of art that would have no relation to somebody's job, nobody would be complaining about it. I think that all of the frustration and, like, anger about AI is primarily, and not all of it, right, with, like, people's likeness being used. There's that subset as well. But I'm saying aside from that, all of this is contingent that people need to have a job. I think that if you took that out of the perspective, it would be totally different. I was talking about things you don't care, like he knows everything. A lot of people think that they've got an opinion. I'll read some opinions from you guys, you know, some disagreeers at the end of the video. I don't want to do that right now. Let me finish the video.
Faster? Sure, but it's not going to feel as rewarding. I understand how
why would people care about things feeling rewarding? And also, I will give a point to his argument. So, cake mix you could actually correctly make a cake mix without making the eggs and the milk with the cake mix, having that actually inside of the mix in itself. And that process was not necessary. But because people did not enjoy that and they felt like it was too artificial, they took that out of the process. Yeah, milk. No, I'm serious, right? Food science. Yeah. They took this out of the process. And then you add the milk and the eggs yourself, so it feels like you're making a cake. That's probably the best argument for what he's saying.
thing a shortcut can be, especially when you go online and you see all these other people doing cool things and you're like, man, I'll never be that talented. It would take me like 10 years to learn how to make music like that. Okay, that's fine. What's the rush? Just start right now. Don't worry about how long it's gonna take. Just take the first step. How are you ever gonna do something for 10 years if you won't even do it for one day? Maybe you won't be good at something the first time you do it. You probably won't. But every time you improve, that's something that you can feel proud of. That's something that you did. Call me stubborn, but I would rather make something shitty on my own than watch a computer make something good. Right? A funny script.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think that's to say it's different for everybody, right? Some people feel that way. Some people don't feel that way. I don't think that his mindset is... I think that his mindset is totally valid, but the opposite mindset is also totally valid. That's the concern that I have. I think that what he's saying, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can have that opinion. But I don't think that you can invalidate other people that don't have those same values. Because, like, there are the same people that are saying, like, there are people that would very easily say, oh, you're not really doing anything. Yeah, neither are you. You're just making YouTube videos talking about bullshit on the internet. Like, go get a real job where you fix cars or you're a doctor or something like that. Go be a firefighter. So I think that if you abstract this argument one step farther, you can easily categorize what he's doing in the same thing that he's saying is bad.
Script for the end of a YouTube video. All right, folks, we've reached the end of this roller coaster ride of a video. If you survived my terrible jokes and questionable dance moves, you deserve a medal. Seriously, someone get this audience a medal. But hey, before you click away to watch cat videos, no judgment, I get it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You wouldn't want to miss out on more chaotic content like this, would you? And hey, if you have any...
This is better than half of YouTubers' outros. Hate to say it. Actually, I love to say it. It's fucking true. It's so fucking true.
Suggestions for what ridiculousness I should attempt next? Drop them in the comments below. I promise to consider them while I'm eating my 5th burrito tonight. Thanks for sticking around, you legends. Until next time, stay awesome, stay weird, and remember, life's too short to take seriously. Catch you on the flip side.
Damn, there it is. Catch you on the flip side. There it is. So I actually didn't expect to disagree with this video as much as I did. A lot of the things that he said in the video I don't really agree with. I don't think that he's right about them, and I think that he has a short-sighted approach to them. I also don't think that he's necessarily wrong by romanticizing the process of creative learning, but I do think that he's wrong in viewing the romanticization of it as the only way that you can interface with creativity. I think that a lot of people like being creative, but they don't want to develop a skill to do that because it takes them too long or they don't have the tools to do it. And that's the way that I see it. His mind is in the right place, but the arguments are weak. I don't even agree with the mind being in the right place. He keeps changing the goalposts for re-arguing around the way. Yeah, well, anyway, I'll read some of the comments and some of the people. Time to disagree with you? Yeah, well, what do people think? Hire a studio. Yeah, and this is the thing. Yeah, the guy himself makes a video and then he publishes it instead of hiring a studio and getting it and putting it out to theaters. He's cutting corners and saving himself money. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying, right, is that, like, a lot of these arguments, I find it to be very ironic that YouTubers are making arguments that are negative about AI because almost every part of the core argumentation that they use was used against YouTube fundamentally or content creation fundamentally that they probably have videos or evidence of themselves disagreeing with 10 years ago. Or probably 15 years ago. Name one artist that didn't steal work. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you could probably think of some of them. But just in general, like, yeah, that's clearly true. Probably Ugg, the caveman. You know, nobody ever made a buffalo like he did. Yeah, the first artist. Yeah, exactly. Check out the official Toys R Us. They're using an opening AI. Yeah, I saw that already. Everything's derivative. Yeah, and I think so too. Do you think this is too much of a doomer take? I want to see AI go really far, but I'm not sure about the innovation. We'll go all the way to the end goal. We still don't have our flying cars. But why do we not have flying cars? We don't have flying cars. Make sure to give the video a like. I mean, again, I disagree with some things, but it was a good video. It's because flying cars didn't prove to be useful. That's the reason why. And they're regulated. And also, like, the idea of a flying car doesn't see it, like, It only seems like a good idea when you don't think about it. The functional benefit that a flying car provides is not realized. So that's why we don't have flying cars. It's not because we don't have the technology for it or something like that. There's a lot of generative AI tools and Adobe products that are now available to make life easier for us editors too. Work that before took 5 to 7 hours now takes 30 minutes to an hour. I love AI, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you work in graphic design, so you probably want to get another job soon. But, you know, yeah, I'm sure that you like AI, you know. That'll be great. That's like a sheep loving a wolf. Yeah, absolutely. AI is awesome. I love AI. You used to have a 100-person staff, and now it's about 6 people. Yeah. AI tools are only a threat if your uncreated work sucks ass. I think that that's probably true in a lot of cases, and I think that with a lot of things it will be true, in the same way that handmade materials are still popular, but they're not as popular as they used to be. So, but like people that have like high craftsmanship skill can still do that and succeed. I'll be right back.